So I'm just sending some of the smudge, the sacred smoke, out to everyone. And if you take a sniff, I bet you can smell this sage. I always like to say something about the medicine, and this particular shell was a shell that washed up onto the beach outside of San Francisco many years ago, on a really special day for me. When I was celebrating Venus, I'd gone away to celebrate Venus, and it rolled up into my feet. And this particular wing is from the great turkey, from the wild turkey. And the wild turkey has been a symbol of friendship and community and of planetary service in many different villages and with many different types of people. So this was also a gift to me many years ago. And I frequently use this when I'm with a group of people and calling in the spirit of community. So just sending this out to you. You can put your prayers in. And send it to Great Mystery. Watch the smoke go from this world even faster than sending a text message. It's immediate. The minute your prayers go in, that's the moment the Great Mystery receives it. But the true secret is who do you think put that prayer in your heart before you even recognized what it was? So our prayers are heard and answered even before we pray them. We have to remember to listen, to find our way to the ancestors, to go into nature, to go into the elements. And right now we're sitting in this beautiful medicine wheel that has been here for quite some years now, and it is a place of the ancestors. These stones actually came out of the mountains here. I'm not happy how they came out of the mountain and that they were blasted out, but that's part of progress, if you will. But what I am proud of and happy about is that one of the good old boys around here who had a beautiful consciousness, he said to me when I thought he was going to bring me rocks like this. And I said, oh, how are we ever going to get these on the property here? And how did you ever find these? And he told me they were blasted out. And I said, gosh, I really wanted the round stones, and that they've been in the water, they've been nurtured and been all healing and that sort of thing. And he said, now y'all up there, don't y'all do healing work with people that have been hurt and blasted? And I said, as a matter of fact, we do. And he said, well, it seems to me like this is a good fit, that these stones need healing and reclamation, and that they had a bigger purpose. This is what he said to me. And I said, well, yeah, that's one part of our teaching, is that we're not excusing abuse ever, but we do believe that there's a both and, that nothing's ever excused when somebody's been perpetrated or hurt or mistreated as a child or an adult or at any time. But we also believe that there's a sacred purpose to everything under heaven, and that when something happens, that it is our, if you will, cross to bear. It's our shaman's wound, if you will, and it's in the healing of all of that. There's still some life in this wing. It's in the healing of that woundedness that we become like the gods themselves. We heal ourselves, and we are directly plugged into the magic and the true spirit of love and wisdom. So these stones now have had the opportunity, after being blasted apart, they were probably all one big family together, as we are before we come here. And now they sit here on this land as guardians. And we've had coyotes, live coyotes show up in here. We've had bear footprints in here from the mountains. We've had people do vision quest in here. We've had people get married. We've had funerals here. We've had dissolution of relationships here in a sacred way. One thing we haven't had yet is an actual baby born here yet, and I want to see that happen on this Creator Stone right here. But this has become a sacred place to come and be with these ancestors, with these wounded healers, with these shamans, to help woken? Oh, people talk about being woke, awakened to your shaman within. So this is a very special place. When I want to talk to my aunties and uncles and grandparents who are already on the other side, and my father now who's on the other side, and some other beloveds, including animals. We've had animals that took their last breath here because this is where their owners or their caretakers brought them so that they could pass here. This is where I feel like I would like to leave. That I would like to come here and lay on this stone when it's time and leave my energy here and become an ancestor that maybe, not only in life, but maybe in death, I can pass on some wisdom of what I've learned. So when you come here to the elemental temples, when you come to Venus Rising, to Dove Mountain here in western North Carolina, and these magical mountains where these stones are maybe the oldest stones in the world, so they're maybe some of the oldest ancestors in the world, we come to all the different temples here, from the air temple where we breathe up the hill, which is our Venus Rising air temple, to the medicine wheel, which is our earth temple, to right beneath this we have a beautiful fire arch and a place where you walk through the fire and then walk on the fire. So obviously that's a fire temple. And across from that are a magnificent Sekhmet, who's also part of the fire temple energy. And then down to the waterfall, which is the Isis healing waterfall. Hello. Sometimes the birds gather around and talk to us here. So up on the top of the mountain, hello. On the very top of the mountain, there's the Spirit Temple deck that looks out over this mountain range, which is in the winter almost a 360. The trees have gotten taller, but used to you could almost see 360 up there in the winter. And the beautiful stars and planets feel like that you can touch them up there sometimes at night. They feel like they're hanging so low and so close to the earth here. We have a little bit of elevation here. And right next to that beautiful Spirit Temple, the deck up there is what's called the Blue Star Wheel of Transformation. It's a sacred star that was given to me as medicine from my grandmother Twyla. And what she talked to me about psycho-spiritual integration is what I would call it. And she would just say that it was bringing heaven to earth in a sacred marriage. So there's also now a new labyrinth up on top of the mountain. And there's so much more happening here. It's almost mind-boggling how quickly things are being created. We have our events coming up here in April 23rd through the 29th. And that's the Isis unveiling. And that'll be a wonderful event. That we're keeping that to a smaller number, but we still have a few spaces for that. And then we have our epic training. And that happens June 1st through the 14th. And for those of you who do not know this, I've been doing shamanic breathwork training for close to 30 years. And I've been doing breathwork training, and I was trying to think about it last night, and I thought, could it really be almost 40 years? It's true. And for some of you who are not aware, although I think most people are that know me, is that I found my path to sobriety when I was 29, and that was 42 years ago today. So that feels like I can feel all my ancestors and almost all my sponsors and teachers that were around at that time who helped me in my recovery. Almost every one of them are gone. When I say gone, they're right here and they're right here. They're in this medicine wheel. They're in the stones and in the energy and in the air and the earth. But they're not here, okay, out here in this world. And so I hope they're proud of me. I'm the representation of their love and wisdom, and I would not be here, and I will never forget that. And I will never not be grateful. Without them, I would not be here. They shared their experience, their strength, and their hope, and they believed me and loved me into being in my darkest hour. And that was 42 years ago today, and here we are in the equinox time, such a beautiful time of rebirth. All around the world, whether it's the fall or the spring, it's a beautiful time of rebirth. And I feel that rebirth energy within myself. And I feel the stone people here, not to be confused with stoned people, but the stone people here celebrating here new life. And this is what these elders do. They hold the energy for the new life. Many people come here and lay their burdens down and give it over to something bigger than themselves. So I hope you'll join us if you would like to, if you feel called, if you hear the wolf call, to join us June 1st through 14th. We have our ministerial initiatory program, which is called SHIP, Shamanic Healing Initiatory Process. We have our Shamanic Breathwork training, which is our second level of training, and healing. It's always about healing and transformation. And we also have Master Apprentices, which is epic and really exciting as we watch people step into their mastery and really move forward, not only as practitioners, but developing their own legacies, if you will, through this work. Very exciting. There's so much happening. Last but not least, I don't remember if I said this in the beginning, but I have a new book coming out. It'll be the 13th book. Something about that feels synchronistic too. And that 13th book is The Aquarian Shaman. And it comes out in September through my favorite publishing, Inner Traditions Bear & Company. And if you want to know more about that, as my father used to say, meet me after the show. Seriously, you can find out more about that by going to our website, shamanicbreathwork.org. There will be, if not right this minute, there will be soon a landing page for you to go on and order that book, and it's already on Amazon for pre-orders. So we hope you will go on and check it out and understand and explore the concept that just perhaps you're an Aquarian shaman too.